history and relive one of the great matchups as it happened.
Last Wednesday night, it was Game 5. The Cinderella team of the NBA, the Houston Rockets, trying to close out their best-of-7 series. They were led by number 24, Moses Malone, with 36 points and block shots like this. As the Rockets move into the finals for the first time in their history, and Calvin Murphy for the first time in his 11-year career, the first sub-500 team since 58 and 59 in the World Championship Finals. The Boston Celtics played the Philadelphia 76ers in a series that's been called by many the greatest ever. It came down to game number 7 with 1 second left. The Sixers are down by 1 point. Bobby Jones tries to inbound it. It goes awry, and the Boston Celtics have moved into the finals for the 15th time in their illustrious career, seeking their 14th World Championship. Tonight, the Celtics meet the Rockets in Game 1 of the World Championship Finals.
Welcome to tonight's CBS Sports Special. Game number 1 of the NBA Championship Series. The Houston Rockets visit the Boston Celtics. This CBS Sports Special is sponsored by the Miller Brewing Company, brewers of Miller High Life. If you've got the time, we've got the beer. Subaru, inexpensive and built to stay that way. And by Blue Stratos, the spirited new men's cologne and aftershave for the free spirit in man.
Welcome to sold-out Boston Garden. Game 1 of the NBA Championship Finals as the Boston Celtics play host to the Houston Rockets. The Celtics seeking their 14th World Championship flag. The Houston Rockets in the finals for the first time in the history of their franchise. If you look at these teams, since 78 and 79, it's been tough for Houston. They've lost 13 in a row to the Boston Celtics, including that Eastern Conference semifinal series a year ago. But remember one thing, Houston is playing well on the road. They've won 7 of 10 games on the road, and they're a different ball club than the one that Boston played earlier in the year. I'm Gary Bender, and alongside me, 2 gentlemen who've been in a lot of World Championship Finals, Bill Russell and Rick Barry. Bill played in 70 championship final games. That's a record. He averaged one time 29.5 rebounds. And Rick Barry has a scoring average in championship play. He averaged 40.8 in 1967. You guys have been telling me coming into this game tonight that when you get into the championship finals, the matchups become even more important.
They are the single most important thing in the playoffs, I think, Rick.
Well, I definitely agree, and there are some very interesting ones in this, and what we'd like to do is run you through the different matchups that you're going to be seeing in the confrontation between these two teams. And first we'll start with the backcourt, and we'll take a look at Mike Dunleavy from Houston and Chris Ford for Boston. Now, as far as Dunleavy is concerned, Dunleavy is a penetrating type of a guard. He can get into the basket. He's got the good outside shot, good, smart, heady player, very underrated. What about Ford?
Well, Ford's a good outside shooter. He's one of the better three-point shooters in the league. And what he does is he relieves the pressure on the guys inside by hitting the outside shot because he's a constant threat and you can't leave him alone. So he changes the defense for you.
And he played well against Houston last year in the final, in one of the playoff games. He had perhaps his best series ever as a pro. The next matchup that we're going to have is going to be Tom Henderson, who is the floor leader for the Rockets, against the floor leader for the Celtics, Tiny Archibald. Henderson doesn't score very many points. He doesn't penetrate that much, but he does give some solidification to the backcourt, keeps the tempo the way Del Harris would like it.
Yes, he slows it, makes sure the guys are under control. Now, Tiny Archibald does the same thing, but he's a scorer because a few years back, he led this league in scoring and assists. So what he does is he applies constant pressure by bringing the ball up court as fast as possible. And so that if the defense doesn't get back as a unit, then he'll burn them. So he's going to make Houston have to get back on defense as a unit.
And Tiny's ankle is okay. That's the report we have. That ankle is fine. Now a very key matchup coming up in the front line. Larry Bird, the man who really helped carry the Celtics past the Philadelphia 76ers, against Robert Reed, who I felt was very instrumental in the success of the Houston Rockets against Kansas City. Now Robert Reed is very foul prone. If I were Larry Bird, I would try to drive Robert Reed to the basket. He likes to block shots, try to get him in foul trouble early and get him out of the game. What do you think about that one, Bill?
Well, I think that Bird would probably play a little different, Rick. I'll tell you why. He's the type of player that he is never in a hurry. And he's going to wait and see what his team needs. And that's what he's going to do. If his team needs scoring, he'll do that. If they need rebounding, he'll do that. If they need defense, he'll do that. And so I think he's going to go out to see what his team needs.
Well, now the next matchup, very interesting. Moses Malone, the center for the Rockets. Cedric Maxwell will be a man who is going to be playing against him at times. However, Bill Fitch told me that he's going to have the defensive assignment. Parrish will actually guard Moses for Boston, but Moses will initially be guarding Cedric Maxwell.
Now, that's probably so that they won't get Moses in foul trouble, because if there's any guy on either team that the team cannot do without, Houston would be in deep trouble without Moses Malone. So they cannot afford to have him get in foul trouble. And so they figured that Maxwell scores most of his points inside. And so that would give Moses a good chance to guard him from a familiar place without getting in foul trouble.
And the last matchup we had, Robert Parrish, who's had great success against this Houston Rocket ball club. He can shoot the outside shot. Billy Paultz for the Rockets, a key factor in their success also against Kansas City. Well,
Parrish is going to have to be careful, because Paultz can hurt you on the inside, because he can score from inside the foul lane pretty well. And so I think that Houston, they want to neutralize Robert Parrish more than anything. And finally, we have the man coming off the bench for Houston, instant offense in Calvin Murphy. And they have, of course, a fine defensive player to try and thwart him, ML Carr. The ML Carr is the #1 cheerleader, and he's the jack of all trades. They need a forward play. If they need guard play, that's what he does.
All right, let's go to Gary for those starting lineups.
As we have the matchup, here's the officials. Jack Madden and Darryl Garretson with Jake O'Donnell, the alternate. And there is the great imposter. The man between O'Donnell and Madden comes in, dressed like an official, stands for the national anthem. He was also at the All-Star game, and he was an imposter at that situation as a player. But right now we have some players who are outstanding basketball players as we start game 1 of this NBA Championship Series. Dunleavy out to Robert Reed. Cedric Maxwell now has jumped out on him. Here's Billy Paultz, and that's exactly what Paultz has done the entire playoff series, has got him started.
And also Bill Fitch, who said that he was going to have Maxwell initially go on to Robert Reed and try and shut Reed down, because he felt he was a big key.
Bill, one question I have. Boston had such an emotional battle with Philadelphia. Do you think that's going to hurt him coming in here?
No, I don't think so. I think it's just a temporary thing. This is a tough-minded team. That's why they were able to beat Philadelphia. They are a tough-minded team that has a lot of willpower. And so that I don't think they're coming here with a letdown. But they have to be very careful, because if Houston can stay with them and beat them or close this game, then they're going to have a problem. Now, Boston traditionally starts very slow.
Well, they've been a great catch-up team. They came from behind in those last 3 games to defeat Philadelphia. Larry Bird looks like he hurt his hand a little bit on that play. It's 4-2. There is Bill Fitch behind the basketball net, and Fitch directing his team into the finals. After 8 years in Cleveland, his second year with Boston, and Billy Paultz again. Paultz has really been an unsung hero for this Houston team. Steal, Robert Reed. Reed, who led the team this year, set a record for Houston in steals, comes up with that one.
This is one thing they don't want to do, give this Houston team life. Houston believes that they can win. They have the confidence going for them. They're playing their best basketball, as we've said many times, and Boston's going to have a tiger by the tail.
8-2, Houston. Robert Parrish misses. There's Moses Malone, who led the NBA in rebounding this year with 14.8. This Houston team has grown in character as they first defeated the defending world champions Los Angeles. Now Dunleavy's been hurt. Dunleavy away from the ball, got hit in the face, I believe. He's just coming off of an ankle injury.
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, Cedric Maxwell gave him a shot. He was boxing Cedric out down the other end. Cedric didn't like it. Cedric ran by him this time, gave him a little shot as he went by. The official picked it up.
Rick, that was not a little shot.
Well, he gave him a good shot then. See, we pick it up right here. You see that forearm right in his face? That was a big shot. That was a dirty play, I tell you right now. I didn't like it.
Larry Bird comes it down. Well, Bill Russell, that kind of set the trend to what we're going to see.
Well, you know, what you do in this game, there's a lot of things you want to establish.
All right, here we see Billy Paultz getting open at the free throw line. Bird can't get out to stop him. He hits his second basket. Now watch the inbounds play coming up here. Cedric Maxwell just kind of tosses it into Tiny, throws it behind him. Robert Reed's right there. He lays it in, and Houston's off to a good start.
Welcome back to the NBA's greatest game.
Back at the Boston Garden, 8-2 our score. That last foul on Tiny Archibald, a charging foul, turns it over to Houston. Already, Boston with 3 turnovers. Game 2, Thursday night here in the Boston Garden. Be sure now to check your local listings for the game and time in your areas. It'll be coming your way on CBS. Here's Billy Paultz goaltending on Robert Parrish.
Billy Paultz off to a fine start again, and this is what he did so well for the Houston team against Kansas City. Here we'll watch the play again. There's the shot by Reed. Nobody screens out. Bird goes right to the boards. He released. He got caught inside on the long rebound. Paultz was right there to put it back in, and the goaltending by Parrish.
Billy Paultz averaging 12.5 points in the playoff series. Parrish, who had some shooting difficulties in the Philadelphia playoff, misses again 0 for 2. And Henderson, who's trying to become only the second player in the history of the NBA to be on 2 different teams that won world championship. In '78, he accomplished that with the Washington Bullets, and Reed is hot.
I'll tell you, Bill, the way the Rockets are playing now, they're playing their basketball game. They're controlling the tempo. The intensity of the crowd, the intensity of the players on the Boston Celtics is nowhere near the level it was on Sunday. That's to be expected, and they're going to have to shake it quick.
Here is Maxwell, who played so well against the Sixers. 3-point play. Chris Ford tipped out. Bird tries to save it and does. Great effort on his part. Maxwell. Dunleavy breaks it up. Parrish. Good ball movement up to Chris Ford. Now, you guys, we talked about this earlier today. This game today really has to set a trend, confidence-wise, for Houston.
Yes, this is a very important game for them. In that if they can win or play well, then they think they can beat this team, and then that just makes them really tough.
Reed, he's missed his first shot. Parrish with a rebound. That's a Tiny Archibald. Here's the fast break. The team runs it as well as anybody in the NBA. Ford out to Archibald. Archibald will take those outside shots. Rebound Maxwell, but Robert Reed is over the back and committed the foul.
Well, there's the early foul trouble we talked about that Reed sometime he can get into. He'll pick up this first one here. As we watch the earlier play, however, down the other end of the court when Ford let go with that 3-pointer. Now look at the hustle on Bird. He knocks it away from Malone. Hustles over, just does save it from going out of bounds. Quick pass inside to Maxwell. Maxwell draws 2 people, gets it to Parrish. He moves an excellent ball movement to the open man Ford. He pops it in.
Back to the live action. Robert Parrish hits. You may see some light flashes on your TV screen. There's nothing wrong with your television set. They're just national publications covering this game, taking photos as everyone is here for this championship series. So don't start adjusting your TV set. Here is Billy Paultz. Out it comes to Tom Henderson. Henderson, long ways up for him. McHale, who's come in, tips it off to Larry Bird. Off to Archibald, and there he goes. Larry Bird tries to follow. What an effort that time by Larry Bird.
Well, Larry's momentum carried him underneath the basket. He had to lay back with the left hand. Couldn't quite get the angle on the glass, but a fine effort.
Well, that's early to bring McHale, isn't it, for Cedric Maxwell? Here's Billy Paultz. Moses Malone, as he always would do, battle you all the way, and he's been fouled. They got Maxwell out of there early in this first period.
32. Yes, it is a very early substitution on the part of Bill Fitch. But here we see play early. Shot now by Paultz. There's Moses. He had the ball, bounces off his head. McHale knocks it loose. He hustles after it. Now the foul by McHale as he pushes Malone.
McHale with his first. This is Dunleavy. Paultz, that swinging hook, and he can hit that with the best of them.
Yeah, Whopper's got a good sweeper inside close to the basket. He's getting the ball in excellent position for him. There's good pressure down there by Reed. Tough to get the ball in bounds. And you've got to get Billy out to about 18 feet, take him out of his range, 17, 18 feet. From 15 and in, he can really hurt you.
Paultz with 8 points. Billy Paultz has started Houston out almost every game that way. Here's Kevin McHale, who just checks in. Moses Malone tips it off, and Dunleavy is fouled by Chris Ford. Ford over the top.
And so far, Houston has been able to.
Well, first we'll take a look here at this rebound shot. You'll see good inside position on the part of the Rockets. There's Ford over the back, picking up the foul, but the good position defensively on the boards. The Rockets have been practicing their boxing out, and it's working.
At international diving competition, the first since the Olympics. That's 3:30 Eastern on CBS Sports Sunday. Right now, the Houston Rockets have started out with great poise, and look at their shooting thus far, 58%.
Well, 7 of those baskets have come inside 12. 5 of those 7 baskets come inside 12 feet. They've established the inside game as Moses lets go from outside, and that's where you want him to shoot.
Look at Billy Paultz. He has 10 points. Paultz has 10. Reed has 6. They've done all of the Rockets scoring thus far.
Well, they wanted to get Paultz involved in a running game, but they haven't been able to do that, and he's playing his type of game, and Whopper's playing the best ball of his career.
Moses Malone up on the back of Kevin McHale. Before that last commercial, Bill, you were talking about the boxing off, the positioning on rebounds.
Well, I think that with these two teams, the key is going to be rebounding because Boston wants to fast break, and the key to fast break is rebounding. So Houston is going to have to keep them off the board. But so far, they've done a pretty good job on that. In fact, obviously, so far the game has been played at the Houston pace, which is a slower pace. Because if Houston runs, then they leave out of their offense, out of their game, their most important player in Moses Malone, because he is better at the half-court game. And what I mean by half-court game is when you walk the ball up court, let the defense dig in, but you set up and work the ball around to get the shot that you want from the half-court, starting from half-court, not the full court.
Kevin McHale, who was a quick substitution for Cedric Maxwell, makes it 16-8 in favor of the Houston Rockets. Dunleavy, he can shoot very well. And some pushing inside. And we're going to have a foul on the Boston Celtics. A loose ball foul. 3 men going up trying to come down to that rebound.
Well, they just tried to back Moses out in this play. Now watch Parrish right there. Moses is going to go for the board. Now look at Parrish. He had backed him out. Actually looked like to me a pretty good position. Moses complained for the push. Back to live action on the basket for the Rockets.
And that foul on Parrish was his first. 4th team foul now against the Boston Celtics. Reed makes it 18-8, a 10-point lead for Houston. And tempo, something that Bill Russell's talked about so often right now, obviously being controlled by the Rockets. Chris Ford, rebound Moses Malone, and they're only getting about 1 crack at it.
And that's what Houston's going to have to do to make sure they only get 1 shot on the offense and hit the offensive board so that they can't take off on fast breaks.
Henderson with Tiny Archibald. Boy, this must seem like slow motion to Boston after that torrid series with Philadelphia. Both teams running at every opportunity. 5 seconds on the shot clock. 3, 2. Reed with 1. He just got it underway and hit it. Robert Reed, a little pressure.
I'm telling you, though, that's what happens when a team has things going for them. Shots like that start going in the basket. And Boston is going to have to start playing much better basketball if they're going to beat this Houston Rocket team.
It's going to be off of Billy Pultz. There's Del Harris, his assistant Carol Dawson. They've got to be satisfied. Billy Pultz has 10 points. Reed has 10 points. Of the 20 points scored by the Houston Rockets as Maxwell is now checked back in. Maxwell coming in for Kevin McHale. Here is Larry Bird. Off to Robert Parrish. The whopper on him, and he walked with the ball.
I'm telling you right now, Bill, you can almost feel that the crowd feels that the Celtics won the championship when they beat the Sixers. The emotional level, again, is just not there on the part of the fans. They seem drained just as well, and they're kind of showing up here to see the Celtics handle a team that they don't have a lot of respect for after all the things being written in the newspaper, and they're going to have to get some respect real quick, both the fans and the players.
Billy Pultz is trying to set up the hook, and he traveled with the ball instead, as Houston now has committed their first turnover. 4 thus far for the Boston Celtics. There is part of that sellout crowd. There's the turnovers we just mentioned. This crowd now trying to egg this team on a little bit. Boston Celtics at home have just been unbelievable this year. They're 12-0 against the West during the regular season of play.
And they're getting 1 shot.
That's right. That's been the story almost every time. Here is Robert Reed. Maxwell picking him up. Tom Henderson. Back to Reed. The tempo, obviously, to the liking of this Houston team. 6 seconds on the shot clock. Intended for Moses Malone. Reed gets it. Chris Ford. Out to Archibald. And Archibald is fouled by Tom Henderson. That's always a problem. How do you get that guy to pick up his dribble?
Well, that was a good play because he obviously was going to beat him and go for 2 points. And so he fouled him out because he's ahead of him. It's not a 2-shot foul. So if he'd been behind him and tried to catch him like that, it would have been a 2-shot foul.
Maxwell, Dunleavy brings it down. Dunleavy, a hard-nosed basketball player, very intelligent player for this Houston team. You probably haven't heard a lot about him, but he's the guy that hit the big basket that beat Los Angeles in that miniseries. Into Moses Malone. Ford collides with him. Malone is able to get it off to Dunleavy. 7 seconds on the shot clock. Henderson. Tom Henderson. And Del Harris has said he's a real key to this team. He's been there before. Harris got back before Moses could get there.
Well, that's the first actually fast break that Boston has been able to get off where they scored a hoop on it. They've had 5 tries. They've only scored once.
I tell you, remember one thing about Boston. They're the best comeback team in the NBA. They won 13 games of the regular season, trailing in the 4th quarter. Billy Pultz. Larry Bird brings it down. Bird off to Archibald. Then Parrish. Tempo picking up a little bit now as Parrish is fouled.
Boston's trying to pick it up, and the way they're doing is get that rebound. When they do get a rebound, is get it out right away.
And here we'll see it coming up. Tom Henderson hits the jumper. Now they do it off of a made basket. There's a good quick pass by Archibald to Bird, right to Parrish. He beats Moses down the floor, and the first basket off the fast break for Boston, but they still trail here by 12 points.
Welcome back to the NBA's greatest game.
The surprising Houston Rockets, the Cinderella team this year in the NBA with a 12-point lead. Moses Malone hasn't even scored yet in this game. Reed and Fultz have 20 of the 22 points. At halftime, we're going to step back into that Philadelphia-Boston series, which was so outstanding. Highlight that for you. The Big O, Oscar Robertson, a feature on him, and then Bill and Rick will talk about the first half of this game.
That was not a good shot. That's outside of Cedric Maxwell's range, and Boston has taken a lot of shots that are not the type that they normally take.
Look who's in the game, Calvin Murphy. There's Fultz again. Parrish, that may be offensive interference. No whistle. Here comes Archibald. Rebound, Larry Bird. Larry Bird now with 4 points. 22-12. Tom Henderson actually did not start all that much this year. The final 8 games of the year, they put him in the starting lineup. They brought Fultz in, and all of a sudden this team came alive. Robert Reed off to Fultz. 8 seconds on the shot clock. Reed again. Maxwell on the pick by Billy Fultz, and Reed has 12 points. Robert Reed, during the playoff series this year, has been averaging 16.7. Bird again. Bird now starting to come alive. Bird with 6 points. Still a 10-point lead for Houston. Ford bats it away.
Now what Boston's trying to do to up the pace is put a full-court press on and make guys have to work to get the ball up. And that makes you spend more time. And so then when they start to set the offense, they don't have as much time to make it operate.
Here's little Calvin Murphy over Parrish. A remarkable 5'9" guard, Calvin Murphy, who comes into the series with 45 straight shots from the free throw line. Chris Ford, that'll count, and a chance now for a three-point play. And ML Carr coming in.
Murphy. I mean on Moses Malone, that two fouls on him now.
There you see a nice pass off Cedric Maxwell. He gets Ford coming in, trailing right down the middle. He lays it in as they split the defense and the foul.
Well, Malone, interestingly enough, with those 2 fouls, still hasn't scored in this game. As ML Carr comes in, a tough defensive performer, and he immediately just kind of glues himself to Robert Reed over here.
And one of the reasons they've turned it around, they got their fast break game going, and what that enables you to do is get inside the other team's gut defensively, inside that 12-foot area. The Celtics only had 2 baskets before they got into this little break situation. Now they've scored their last 4 baskets inside, and they've cut that lead down.
And they've got to run that ball up because Houston can play them tough if they make them play half court.
Let's make a correction. That last foul was not on Moses Malone. It was Calvin Murphy, his first. Here's Murphy again. Rebound. Claimed by Robert Parrish. Off to Archibald. So Malone with 1, Murphy with 1. 5 team fouls against the Houston Rockets. Here is Ford. Archibald, ML Carr. You can see Boston having a tough time getting that ball inside. Archibald is open. Rebound, ML Carr. That'll count, and he's fouled.
Now that's what a 6-man does for you. The district that comes in and gives you a lift. That's one of the key things. It's not so much what he does sometimes, it's how he does it. It's just as important. He got the offensive board and went right back up and got the foul.
And a big foul it was, because again, that's 2 fouls now on Robert Reed. And ML Carr, before the game, was talking to him. He said, Rick, he said, you know, you've got that ring on your finger. He said, I want one of those badly. He says, I'll do anything I have to do to get one. And I think he really meant it. Anything.
I saw that ring Bill Russell has on, too. ML Carr with another one because of the penalty.
Well, Bill wears 2 rings. And you wear the one, the first one. You didn't wear the first one you won sometime, and then the one in '68?
Yeah, I wear them both all the time.
Right. Could have worn 11 of them. He didn't have enough fingers.
He's got toes.
All of a sudden now Boston has cut it to 6. Here's Henderson. Tom Henderson tips it out to Robert Reed. Billy Fultz, they get around him, gather around him. Rebound Reed. They're getting the multiple shots, but they won't go. Parrish with a rebound. Off to Larry Bird. Oh, wait a minute. Bird really hit hard.
Oh, he's all right. He's just exasperated because he thought he was going to get the free throw.
Well, Bird tries to go in for the dunk on this play. You'll see him take it out and hold it in one hand right there. He's going up for the dunk. Paul's times it beautifully. Goes right up, gets nothing but ball on the way up. You can see Larry's about a foot over the rim right there. He hits the rim, and he hit the rim and threw his body balance off somewhat, and he took a little fall, but it was a good play on Paul's play.
I think he watched too much of Dr. J in that series.
See, now if he had Doctor's hands, he could have taken that ball and moved it around the world a couple of times and then dunked it in on the way by.
It takes more than hands.
Anyway, you see the time left. 45 seconds in this first period. A 6-point lead. Now down almost to 4. Henderson committing the foul.
But you can see what happened as soon as the tempo was picked up, as soon as the fast break started to get into gear for the Celtics, this game turned around. Houston was controlling it. You kind of felt, at least I did, Bill, that Houston was able to get the shots that they wanted. They played with a lot more poise. As soon as it got into a running game, it just seemed that it just switched right over to the Celtics.
A clear example of that, the last time down, Houston got the offensive board and they had 3 shots at it, or 4 shots at it, and they didn't make any of them. When you're in your rhythm, you don't miss that many shots around close. The first open shot, it just seems to go, even the guy who's not a great shooter can make it.
Bill Fitch, his team now is climbed within 4 after trailing by as many as 14 points in this first period. Tom Henderson, Archibald jumping out on him. Calvin Murphy with 10 seconds on the shot clock. Beautiful play by Calvin Murphy. Bill Willoughby, number 32, is checked into the Houston lineup. He's the jumping jack at 6'8", and he'll pick up M.L. Carr.
They did the right thing. They made Calvin go to his left, but he showed that he's still capable of scoring even going that way.
Robert Perry, 28-24 with 12 seconds.
And Moses Malone is sitting on the bench.
Well, he hasn't scored, and I just can't believe this Houston team could be a lead of 4 points or any, for that matter, without Malone scoring. The way he has carried him in the series thus far. There's a foul on Carr, trying to stay with Robert Reed.
That's one of the things that the confidence factor can do for you. The other players believe that they can play well. They had one of the games against Kansas City. You get a good look at Moses on the bench. That you feel that you can go out there and you can play well and get the job done regardless of what the circumstances are. And players like Dunleavy, players like Reed, players like Paulson and Murphy are all capable of scoring points. And because of that confidence factor, they're making this Houston Ball Club a much better basketball team than they've been all year long.
Robert Reed has really been struggling from the free throw line. He shot 76% during the regular season. He's shooting only 65 in the playoffs.
Now we know in the game Sunday was 35-15 on the free throw line. And I know Billy Cunningham wasn't real happy about that. That was just the second free throw that Houston's taken, and Boston's already taken 6, so there's a big discrepancy there already.
Willoughby bats it down. 3 seconds. 2. This first period coming to a close, and the Houston Rockets, a team that is a decided underdog in this best-of-7 series with a 29-24 lead. This CBS Sports Special will continue after this word from your local station. Broadcast as this game right now, as you look at the pennants high above here, I think surprising some people. Houston, who led by as many as 14, now after 12 minutes lead 29-24.
And I tell you, we talked about the bad shots the Celtics were taking, Bill, in that first quarter. Outside of 12 feet, they are only 1 for 9. And you can see that the way that coaches are trying to get this game going. Boston got 9 fast break opportunities, but they only scored 6 points. Not a good ratio. Houston only took the break once. They did score off of it.
Look at the shooting statistics. 50% for Houston, only 33 for the Boston Celtics. Here's Robert Reed with another steal, his second of the game. And nice plays, fouled by M.L. Carr. And Reed playing with great confidence. A man who suffered late in the year is shooting. Then Calvin Murphy helped him rediscover his jump shot.
And we'll see the play again. There's Robert going behind the screen, anticipating the play beautifully. A bad pass thrown up in the air for grabs. Ford made a bad mistake there. Reed with a good crossover move. Carr goes up, tries to block it, catches him on the arm, and Reed makes the basket and the free throw.
16 points for Reed. He scored his seasonal high against this Boston team. 32 points in the first game of the year between these two clubs. And he started off to a big night here. 32-24. Robert Reed, Malone up against him. Willoughby with a rebound. Dunleavy is decked. Here comes Calvin Murphy. Archibald. Boy, what a matchup that is between those two guys out front. Here is Dunleavy. Dunleavy playing with the ankle. He says it's still very sore. He hurt it in Game 4 against Kansas City. Red! 10 seconds. You hear the red. That means it's inside 10 seconds on the shot clock.
That was the old backboard play again. They threw it up to get it on the glass to go to Malone, but Moses was a little bit too close to the basket and was knocked away.
That was Del Harris who yelled that out, and they will yell that when it gets down to 10 seconds on the shot clock. Calvin Murphy Murphy doesn't let him bother him. Good concentration. And it's 32-24. 6 points for Calvin Murphy. Here's a rebound now by Reed. Reed off to Calvin Murphy. Murphy brings it out to Dunleavy. 34-24, 10-point lead for Houston, and Larry Bird reaches around and commits a foul. I think this Boston team a little frustrated right now.
Well, the Rockets are doing a good job of keeping them off balance. They are controlling the tempo. They did it most of the time in the first quarter, except that little stretch when Boston cut it down. And right now they're back into controlling it somewhat. And don't get the misunderstanding that Houston can't break it all. They're capable of doing it. They got some good people off the break. Murphy, Dunleavy, Reed, Willoughby can do it.
Here's Murphy again, this time off to Willoughby. Bill Willoughby. Harris, that was tipped away by Moses Malone. You could hear him hit the rim. Gerald Henderson, who's checked in, and this guy has really come up in stature as the playoffs have ensued. Rebound, Bird always working hard, as is Malone, and Darrell Garretson is going to give the ball to the Boston Celtics.
There you see the tenacity of Larry Bird. There's Reed, doesn't box out, so Bird sneaks in and keeps it alive. Now Reed hits it. There's Bird with it. Murphy comes in. He knocks it loose. Now it's a battle between Malone and Bird. Moses comes up with it, but he loses his balance and falls out of bounds.
Basket by Henderson, and he is fouled. I don't think there's two men that work any harder than Larry Bird and Moses Malone.
Not in this building anyway.
I'll tell you, you're looking at a man for 9 days has been suffering unbelievably. He has such a bad back and such a problem. He said in the last 9 days he's only sat down for perhaps 10 minutes, and he said it's so bad that you would think that if I could ever enjoy anything in my life, it would be the victory on Sunday. But he said he was in such pain he couldn't even enjoy that.
And all the back sufferers throughout America can identify with that.
You know, one of the reasons that Houston is in the finals is that they have been able to make every team they've played so far in the playoffs play at their pace. And so far, they're making the Celtics do it.
Moses Malone still looking for his first points of the night. Gerald Henderson has come in and hit 5 points in a hurry for this team.
Tiny Archibald still struggling a little bit with his offense. That ankle may be bothering his shot somewhat. Henderson's come in and given him a real good lift offensively.
Henderson is a man a lot of people hadn't heard a lot about, but as the playoffs were wearing down against Philadelphia, he came in some very meaningful minutes. Dunleavy on the drive, and Henderson has committed the foul. Out of Virginia Commonwealth, a second-year man, 6'2". We have a timeout called with 9 minutes, 48 seconds to go in the second period. The Houston Rockets with a 34-29 lead.
Welcome back to the NBA's greatest game.
The Boston Celtics became only the 4th team in NBA history to capture the best-of-7 series after falling behind 3-1. We'll have highlights of that outstanding series. Some are calling it the greatest ever between the Sixers and Celtics. Also at halftime, Oscar Robertson and Bill Russell. You were one of those teams that came back. But you were also the only team in 1968 that went on to win the finals after coming from behind 3-1 in another final.
Well, what you have to guard against after you do something like that is to say, you have to realize that that's just the beginning, and that the championships are not over until you've won it. And this is how some teams can get ahead and not win it.
There was Boston trying to catch Houston napping. They did not. Carr with those long arms coming up with a steal.
Toughest pass of the game, a cross-court pass, especially when you throw it at shoulder level.
36-29. During that timeout, Del Harris was trying to figure out a way to get Moses Malone open. He still hasn't scored in the game. Chris Ford, Robert Parrish. Robert Parrish cuts it to 5.
You know what happens sometimes, Gary, is you make so much concentration, Bill, on one man like Malone to shut him down, which they've done, but the other people are the one that hurt you. You really got to try and keep those people down also. You don't want them to have confidence.
There's Malone still looking for the bucket. Now he's in the scoring column.
And what Houston has done is they've picked up the pace a bit.
I would say they have. ML Carr just goes over Dunleavy. No foul. Henderson follows.
And what I think they made up their mind to do is they're not going to use, they haven't been using Paulson and Malone together, and that way they're able to run. Now,
Dunleavy's hurting.
Yeah,
you can see him. That's probably that ankle that
he got kneed in the left thigh. Got hit in the left thigh, and this Mike gets a lot of those type of bruises because he puts his body up just like he tried to draw the charge on that one.
Malone, air ball. Billy Pulse is getting ready to check in for the Rockets. Gerald Henderson with 7 points, and they have come in a bunch. Here is Ford, intended for Parrish. Parrish able to trace it down. And here's Willoughby with the rebound. Willoughby, one of those guys who has started to earn some real respect in the playoffs. His jumping ability, 6'8" out of Englewood, New Jersey. 38-33, 8:12 to go until halftime. The Boston Celtics had the 3rd best record at home this year in the NBA. The best record overall. There's the foul on Chris Ford. Murphy tried to penetrate inside, and he got away with it. Ford committing his 2nd personal.
But they're making sure that when Murphy goes, he's going to his left.
Yeah, I was going to say, Bill did a good job that time. They cleared the side of the floor for Murphy, but Ford just played entirely over on Calvin's right hand, made him go to the left, and you see the substitutions coming into the ball game. Rick Roby just came in, and Billy Pulse.
Coming out will be Robert Parrish. She mentioned Polk checks in. Dunleavy off to Robert Reed. Malone boxed out. That was Roby with the position and the defensive rebound. Henderson, Larry Bird in trouble. Gets it off to Roby.
Great pass and great move by Rick Roby. Great pass by Bird on the move, and Roby did just the perfect thing with it.
Roby comes in and seems to really contribute when they need him most. 38-35. Billy Pulse looking to Malone. Roby's on him tough, and Roby commits the foul. They're still trying to get it inside, and it has not been easy. The penalty now in.
Well, here's that Celtic break to the previous basket. There's a nice long lead pass out by Tiny Archibald. Goes over to Henderson. He gets to the Bird. Bird draws Pulse. Roby trails in. Dunleavy actually fouled him, it looked like, but no call, and Roby makes a good spin move and drops it in.
And you guys told me before the game that really the Boston Celtics can come in platoons against Moses Malone and not get into real foul difficulty.
Well, most teams that they played in playoffs, like Kansas City, when they had Sam Lacey on him, if Sam Lacey got in foul trouble, that really made a vast difference in the Kansas City team. Or against the Lakers if Kareem got in foul trouble. But if Robert Parrish gets in foul trouble, you have guys like Rick Roby and the rookie Kevin McHale who can all play.
So you're talking, what, about 18 fouls they can use?
Yes, they can use 18 fouls and still have a guy left.
Archibald is fouled. Murphy doesn't like the call at all, and Archibald on the floor. And Calvin Murphy has 3 personal fouls.
And Calvin's going to be going out. Here you see, has him beat by half a step. Murphy catches him with the right leg right there and tripped him, and that's where the foul occurred. And Henderson's back in now as you get a good close-up of Tiny Archibald. The foul situation, 5 for Boston, only 2 against the Rockets, and so the foul situation's turned around. Houston shot 5 already in this quarter. This will only be the 2nd attempt right now for Boston in this quarter.
And Boston has a good running team out there now. They got good floor speed, but on top of that, it's a good running team. And what they're trying to do is keep the pressure on over the period of the game. That pressure will tell somewhere along the line there'll be a breakdown.
That's a combination, Bill, they used against Philadelphia, wasn't it? At certain stages, they seem to pick it up.
What they do is you apply pressure all the time, and sooner or later there's a breakdown.
Here's Billy Pulse.
Sometimes in the first quarter, sometimes in the fourth quarter, but you're working to get this breakdown sooner or later.
Henderson who replaced Calvin Murphy with those 3 fouls. Nice move by Tom Henderson. You know, Henderson has shown that playoff experience. He took some tough shots in that 5th game against Kansas City. He wanted the ball. 42-37. Robert Reed playing tough on Bird. Pulse reaching in on Rick Roby. 10 seconds on the shot clock. That's going to be the zone.
No, it's defensive 3 seconds.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And you spell that Z-O-N-E.
What is the difference, Bill?
The league doesn't like to say they play zones.
I'm sorry.
Because zones are illegal. And they'd hate to think that these coaches would have their players go out and do things that are illegal.
I told you, Darryl said he's never called a zone violation in his career.
So now what is it called?
It's called an illegal defense.
Okay. All right.
If you go to law school, you know there's a difference between what's illegal and what's the zone, you see.
Lightweight boxing, Ramirez against Sanchez. Ramirez from Mexico, Sanchez from New York City. Let's go back to that illegal defense.
Well, here's what happens. Now, Mike Dunleavy guarding Henderson. He'll go into the 3-second area. You'll see here in a second. And what he does is he stays in there. And now he leaves his man. Now Henderson's going to go out, but Dunleavy's going to stay in there, and he will make no attempt to go out. Now watch him stay. There he goes. He stays. He stays. He's still not doing anything. He stays. He's in there for more than 3 seconds without making an attempt to guard someone. That is the infraction. And what he is doing is he is playing a zone.
Oh, Rick, don't say that.
I'm sorry,
don't say that word.
No.
Well, we both said it. Now you got to say it. We'll all be in this together, okay? Anyway, the technical, Archibald shoots a free throw. You know, we stick together in this broadcast situation.
After the game, Rick's going to have to wash his mouth out with soap.
42-38. The Celtics have cut it to 4. They trail by 14 in the first period.
I got to be careful. Commissioner O'Brien is here.
That's right. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Roby with 3. And Archibald tries to save it. It will go to Houston. There's part of the crowd here. They had 27 consecutive sellouts. And they have another sellout here tonight. Tremendous support here at the Boston Garden. Reed, there's the play. They bounce it off the glass, but it doesn't work this time. Archibald, Roby. Rebound, Robert Reed. Coming up with it is Larry Bird. Look at him work from ML Carr.
Yeah, I told you, ML said he'll do anything. That time he got up off the floor, got back in there and laid it in as Bird made a good play.
Roby is shaken up. It looks like his arm or hand, his right arm, he's holding it as he assumes his defensive position. Moses Malone, rebound Bird, and now the Celtics can tie it up, but then it's thrown away. Moses Malone has had to work hard. Still can't get the ball to drop. Here he goes again, and he still can't. Malone pushes it in. Moses Malone now with 6 points, and it's back to a 4-point lead for the Houston Rockets.
What Larry Bird did on that fast break, he jumped up there to pass. And defense reacted in a way that he didn't have anybody to pass to.
You saw the turnovers. That was the 8th turnover against the Celtics. 5:21 remaining in this first half. ML Carr to Larry Bird on the move against Reed. Blocked by Moses Malone. Malone with the reject. And now the Rockets, after almost being tied up, have a chance now to move it to a 6-point lead. Henderson still up. Malone, and he walked to the ball.
They were just little steps. Those were just little steps.
Now we'll see Moses. See how Bird got up in the air, as Bill pointed out. He couldn't get the ball to Archibald, who was behind Henderson. Instead, it goes right to Malone. He goes up for the shot. You see how he knew it wasn't going to go in. He chased it back down, puts it back on the floor, chases after it again when he knew he missed it. Finally makes a fake, gets ML out of the way, and lays it in the basket. Tenacity on the part of Moses Malone.
Well, that's a lot of work for 2 points, isn't it?
Yeah, to get a big word like tenacity in there, too.
44-40.
And they go to school for nothing, Bill.
I know, Rick. They paid.
Oh, wait a minute now. Henderson will bring it up.
Speak for yourself, my man.
Well, we're going to tell everything tonight, huh? Here's Robert Reed. Reed changes his shot a little bit. Roby with the rebound, up to Henderson. Henderson almost walked with it to Archibald, and Tiny has now made it a 2-point game. 44-42. Tiny Archibald now with 5 points. Ford with 7. ML Carr with 5. Henderson with 7. Bird with 6. Good balance. And Archibald has committed a foul. There's Larry Bird. Bird, as we mentioned, with 6 points. A penalty now in as Henderson will move to the line. And there's a very stoic Dell Henderson. Harris, as I say Henderson, it's Henderson to the line. Dell Harris in his second year as head coach.
Well, they have 2 Hendersons on the court now, and it's kind of in that H. Once you get started with that H,
and here is Bill Fitch. You see what Henderson is shooting. And Henderson makes it 45-42. Tom Henderson with 5 points. Tiny Archibald off to Roby. Roby seeing a lot of playing time in this first half. Intended for Archibald. Henderson commits a foul.
That's called playing defense with your hands and not your feet. What happens if you let a guy cut, you've got to make him change his direction. He can't let a guy just cut down the lane in the way he wants to go. Then you have to grab him. That's called playing defense with your hands.
Allen Neville comes in.
Now, this Allen Neville, this is what the kind of game that Boston is trying to play. Fast break game is suited to his style. And so he may really be able to help Houston.
What an incredible 7-game series it was. Boston and Philadelphia. That's coming up at halftime. The highlights. Also a rebound feature with the Big O, Oscar Robertson, and Rick and Bill with highlights of this first half, which finds with 4 minutes left in the first half a 45-42 lead for the Houston Rockets. Cedric Maxwell in. Archibald, Roby, M.L. Carr, and Gerald Henderson. Archibald to Roby. Batted away, and Billy Paultz has it.
Mike Dunleavy made a good play and snuck back in that time to knock it away from Roby. Otherwise, he had an easy basket.
Level has come in because Henderson picked up his third foul. Calvin Murphy likewise has 3. Billy Paultz, that swinging hook of his, and the Whopper, who started him out well, now has 12 points. Reed with 16. Billy Paultz with 12. Archibald off to Roby. 47-42 Houston. Henderson on the move, and he has been fouled.
Now, if you don't think there's some contact going on in this game, you see the play. Look at Dunleavy, tries to go by. Henderson comes in, gives him a little shot to stop him. Mike does a good acting job trying to pick up the foul.
No Emmy for that one, though, Rick.
No, that wasn't really Emmy class.
Boy, they're going after him. He's been picked on 2 or 3 times. He just picked up the foul just a moment ago at the other end, his first of the game. Henderson against Dunleavy, and Henderson, oh, what a job he's done. 9 points for him. 47-44. A lot of people felt the Celtics should trade for some help in the backcourt, but they were very, very high on Henderson. You can see why. Here's Alan Level. And Level with his first 2 points.
And they've got to make him go left.
No foul! No foul!
Alan Level had some very good games against Kansas City. 2 10-point games. One game he had 6 steals. Here's Maxwell off balance. Ripped down by Malone. Malone not scoring all that much, but he still is intimidating inside.
But Tiny made a great move that time and a good dish off, and they just missed a good in-close shot.
Level with Archibald, Billy Paultz, out to Dunleavy, and Dunleavy with a very, very accurate shot of his. He has 4 points, 51-44, so after climbing within 3, all of a sudden they bump it back up. Here is Henderson using a screen by Roby. That will be off of Houston.
Good weak side defense. Robert Reed got in there just in time because they had Roby on the inside.
Roby will inbounds it. There's Reed positioning everyone. He, as you can see, the leading scorer in this ball game. Maxwell, who played so well defensively in the last series. Out it comes to Dunleavy. Archibald, look out. Tiny. They're going to call a foul on Dunleavy.
And see, there's no force out, so they call that a right here he calls. There's the push.
He also stepped on Tiny's right ankle with his right foot and caused Tiny to trip. That's why he took off into the stands. He couldn't get his balance.
Maybe we'll find out why he's getting hit out there.
Well, I'll tell you why Mike gets hit. He's the type of player who will body you, he'll bang you. He really, again, puts his body up on the line all of the time. There's our cameraman, Big Red, who stayed right with the play.
He didn't have any choice, did he?
No, he really didn't have very much choice. But again, Mike Dunleavy's that type of a player who will bang and bump and do everything, and that frustrates a lot of people. And after a while, you get tired of it, so you want to bang and bump him back. And what happens
most of the time, that'll get you in foul trouble because when you hit back is when you get caught.
The guy that retaliates. Now, that was a second foul on Dunleavy. The penalty is in. Archibald at the 2:17 mark. Tiny has really had some bumps and bruises. He had an ankle that gave him a great deal of difficulty. Hurt it in Game 6. Came back, played well in Game 7. Now has made it 51-45. Houston, 2:15 to go until halftime. Allen Level with Archibald on it. Level extremely quick, maybe the quickest player they have. And he has hit 2 in a row.
Now that time, as soon as he stopped and started the spin back, Larry Bird was close enough. He should have gone and attacked him right there. They would have stopped that play.
53-45. Kevin McHale on a turnaround jumper. Rebound off to Robert Reed. And again, Houston now is reasserting control of this game.
They're doing a great job. They, in spurts, are letting the Celtics play their game, but overall, they're controlling the game the way they would like to have it go. And as a result, they're leading.
Level. He gets a pass to Dunleavy. Oh, what a follow by Moses Malone.
Take that.
That is impressive.
That's where penetration helps you. Moses had to go get a clear path because Parrish helped out.
Archibald cuts it back to an 8-point game. Tiny Archibald now has 8 points for the night. This crowd starting to get a little uneasy here at the Boston Garden. Level on the move. Henderson blocks it nicely. Level almost steals it back, and a loose ball foul.
But he made him go to the left. But let's take a look at Moses' play. Now there's Parrish on Moses. Now watch, Robert sees what's happening. He boxes him out, screening him off the boards, doing a real fine job defensively. He sees he has to go and help. Now when he leaves, there comes Moses, there comes the ball, and there goes the ball.
Boy, I don't know how in the world anybody has a big enough hand to get up like that the way he did.
Moses, ironically, does not have a very big hand. He can't palm that ball and handle it like a lot of big guys can. Very small hands for a man his size.
In fact, Bill, you told me you had trouble. That's hard for me to believe that you had that difficulty.
No, my hands weren't big enough. No, I never really wanted to do that a whole lot. You can't pass the ball holding on to it.
Well, it's hard to want to do it when you can't, though, isn't it?
Well, I could do it if I really struggled, Rick.
I tell you,
really
you completely lost me.
I was trying, Gary. It took a little time.
55-49. Remember now, this Houston Rockets team has won the first game of every series this year in the playoffs. They're trying to do that again here tonight. They're giving Boston all they want at this particular time. 6 seconds on the shot clock. Level, what a pass to Fultz. Moses Malone, they got a fresh 24 seconds.
And that was a pass, I believe.
44 seconds, you see the time remaining in this first half. You hear Del Harris yelling in the background. Level, rejected. That time by Robert Parrish with 11 seconds now. Houston will inbounds it again.
Now, why he said go for it is because if they shot the ball then they would still get another opportunity, so they'd get 2 shots to the Celtics, 1. They should try now, get it inbounds. If you're open, take the shot. They'll get 2-1.
Parrish, who was 4th in the NBA in block shots, coming up with that one. This team of Boston, twice as many block shots as a year ago. Malone, that's a long ways out for him. Level tries to save it, and it's going to go off of Parrish. So Houston with 2 seconds.
Are they getting enough opportunity to score?
Now they're going to reset the shot clock to 5 seconds because the fact that the defensive man had control of it for a moment.
Hit the rim. Ask it. Hit the rim.
Now, wait a minute. Del Harris is saying it hit the rim, and they should
Jacob
have.
Brown says no.
Hit the rim. 5
He
seconds.
says got 5 seconds.
3. We only got 5 seconds.
5 seconds, 28 seconds on the game clock. Level looking for help. Dunleavy running shot. 3 seconds still. Malone pinned by Parrish. They have a jump ball now. Dunleavy and Henderson.
This is some very tough basketball right now.
They're playing some tough defense. Here you see Moses picks up the basketball. He'll go up. Parrish times it right there, blocks it, took it to the glass. You're allowed to do it. Now Dunleavy fights with Henderson, and they get tied up with the jump ball situation. The 24-second clock had reset after that first attempt, and that's why it didn't run out.
And now with 22 seconds left in this first half, Archibald to Bird. Larry Bird knew Reed was zeroing in on him. 55-51. They'll come down now for the last shot of this first half. You see the time in the upper portion of your screen. Level out to Billy Fultz. Running hook. Oh, is that a tough shot? And that's the way our first half is going to come to a close. And at halftime, we're going to look back to that outstanding series between Philadelphia and Boston. A feature on Oscar Robertson and highlights of the first half.
Welcome back to the NBA's greatest games.
As we have a 57-51 halftime score in favor of Houston in that first half. Boston shooting only 39% from the field. And on the other hand, the Rockets with 46%. Rebounding even. Both teams with 25 rebounds. We mentioned the individual scoring. The 30 points by Fultz and Reed. Malone with 10 rebounds, Larry Bird with 11, and here we go. Remember, Houston has won every one of the first game of each playoff in the series this year. Here is Alan Level, who starts the second half. Robert Reed. And Robert Reed now has a total of 18 points. Reed, remember, had 32 points in a regular season game earlier this year against the Boston Celtics. Bird broken up nicely by Dunleavy. Maxwell and Cedric Maxwell, in the first half of play, had only 0 points. That's his first 2 of the night.
Now the Celtics are normally, this is where they play the best. Started second half so far in the playoffs. This is where they've been really tough.
There's Level on the drive. Level getting up slowly. Bird off to Tiny Archibald. Back to Larry Bird. They sign Maxwell, and Maxwell, who didn't score in that first half, has hit the first 2 back in the second half of play. 59-55. Level starting the second half. He is starting in place of Tom Henderson. Henderson had 3 fouls in the first half, as did Calvin Murphy. Other than that, Houston with the same 5 that opened the ball game. Reed looking to Malone, who had 8 points in the first half. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Dunleavy shakes forward. The body contact out of bounds. It's going to be off of Houston.
Well, I'll tell you, Mike Dunleavy really got hit that time with the body, and here you see him going on the drive to the basket. He goes up in the air. Now watch, Parrish comes over, and Bird really gets him with the body when he goes up in the air, throws the ball, and goes out of bounds, so a big break for Boston.
Tiny Archibald inside to Robert Parrish. Billy Pultz playing the defense on him. That means Malone is on Maxwell. That's the way they started the game. Chris Ford. Rebound, Moses Malone, and Malone now for this ball game with a total of 11. 59-55. A lot of people thought that maybe Houston would be a little tight coming into their first championship finals. They started out well. They led by as many as 14 in the first period. Dunleavy. Ford will have to respect his shooting ability. 4 seconds on the shot clock. 3, 2, and they've done that 3 or 4 times in this game with the shot clock running down.
And what they're doing is make the Celtics get anxious on defense. Make them have to play defense for 24 seconds.
61-55. Parrish having problems. Malone comes up with it. Remember now, Boston is a great come-from-behind team. They trailed 3 games to 1, trailed in the late going of each one of those games, and still beat Philadelphia.
They're going to have to be another comeback team tonight. They're going to have to be a little better than before.
Billy Pultz off to Dunleavy. I'm sure some people very surprised by the way this game is going. Jack Madden now has spotted something away from the ball.
You see the foul's going to be picked up by Robert Parrish battling Malone. And here we see him battling there. Moses has the inside position right over there, over his back, catches him with the elbow in the chin. Parrish picking up the foul. Rockets right now in command by 6.
As we look at the statistics in the first half, look at that bottom one. Steals, 8-1.
Well, that's really been a big difference so far. Houston's been able to get more shots up as a result, 55-49, and you can see the Celtics not shooting the ball very well, only shooting 38%, and that's because they shot something like only 5 for 18 from the outside.
6-point lead for Houston. Billy Pultz had that excellent first half. Look what Robert Reed came up with. That'll count, and he's fouled by Robert Parrish. Reed, very opportunistic on that play.
Well, here you see the battle. Look how Moses got the inside position, goes up for the rebound. He mistimed his jump, but he came back to get it away from Bird, who had good position, and Reed snuck right inside of Parrish, throws it up. Parrish actually hit the ball and tapped the ball in the basket, picking up the foul as well.
That's the 3rd foul on Parrish. Reed having an outstanding game. The 3-point play makes it 63-55, and Reed already has 21 points. 21 for Robert Reed. 64-55. Maxwell, little running hook. All to the rebound. Good boxing off that time by Houston on the defensive boards.
And that was not a real good shot.
Houston has led all the way by as many as 14. Robert Reed off to Billy Pultz. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Intended for Malone. Parrish had a hand on it. Robert Reed. Reed with a hot hand to Pultz, and they have overpassed it there.
Exactly right.
Archibald to Parrish. Boy, that's something for a big man to be able to break down the floor and do that.
Yes, it was a great shot. He was able to get it up with the left hand. He was underneath the basket, but it was a good lead pass, so he did not have to dribble the ball. And you don't want your big man dribbling the ball.
64-57. Look at ML Carr. That's been indicative of this Boston team. They get great bench support. Pultz misses another one. Bird comes up with it. Up to Archibald. Boston now trying to make their move here in the 3rd period. Tiny.
Well, Moses Malone got caught that time. When he ran down the middle, he lost sight of the basketball. Tiny Archibald drove right up his back before he realized that he was laying it in the basket.
And that's what Tiny does all the time. He's always looking for the opening, and that's what I mean by keeping continual pressure on the defense.
It It's back now to a 5-point lead. 7:44 to go. Third period in game one of this championship final. Nice pass by Level. That was some pass to Moses Malone.
Well, they had reason to be applauding that play. That was a great play on the part of Malone, also on Level. Level with a good bounce pass. Malone held off Parrish, who tried to front him from the other side. Takes it and dunks it as Bird came over to help out too late.
10 points now for Moses Malone. Archibald hangs on. The 4. 9 seconds on the shot clock. 7 with 6. Parrish. Hill pitch, bad back and all. That's 12 points now for Parrish. 66-61. Remember one thing about this Boston team. They have never lost a game this year when their opponent was held under 100 points. And we could have that happen tonight. Parrish, chip check that. Pulse misses another one. That's 3 shots he's missed. Archibald. That was a good play by Level.
But it was a bad mistake on the part of Tiny. Now that time he tried to throw the ball to his big man, Robert Parrish, out 30 feet on the floor. He has no business making that pass. Plus he threw it behind him. And so a turnover by the Celtics, something that hurt them in the first half, has hurt them again here in the third period.
The commissioner, Lawrence O'Brien, enjoying this game. He saw the game here Sunday. What a contest. Alongside him, his very lovely wife. And Thursday night, it'll be game 2 here at the Boston Garden. Be sure to check the time in your area between the Rockets and Celtics. 6 minutes, 50 seconds to go. Third period. A 5-point lead for the Rockets, who've led all the way. Mike Dunleavy with Ford on him. Alan Level. Rebound, Moses Malone. He tried to go underneath, and Bird comes out of there with it. Wait a minute. That'll be a traveling call on Larry Bird. Bird got hit in the face that time. That's already 14 turnovers against Boston. There's Red Auerbach.
Here you see Bird come on out on the play on the break. There's 1 step, there's 2 steps. He still hasn't put it on the floor, and he takes a 3rd step before he starts to throw it. So they caught him real good that time.
Mike Dunleavy. 3 Celtics that time up for the rebound. Parrish comes down with it. 66, 61. Chris Ford. And he gets the roll.
Well, that's the old hometown bounce right there.
There is Red. In his 30th year of this organization. A lifetime contract, and very deservedly so. A chance now for Boston defensively to get this ball and cut it to 1. Dunleavy. And Dunleavy hits nothing but the middle of the bucket. And there is John Havlicek. Boy, you talk about history, tradition, great players. They've had them here in the Boston Garden. 68-63. Bird broken up. And Pulse loses it. Bodies on the floor again. And Robert Parrish has it. Archibald. Great effort for the Boston Celtics. 68-65.
Quick shot there was Beth Havlicek, the young lady there, John Havlicek's lovely wife.
5:22. Boy, this place has been rocked with enthusiasm since that Philadelphia series. Looks like another one shaping up here in the championship finals. Dunleavy. Rebound, Parrish. A chance now to cut it to 1. Archibald to Chris Ford. Ford to Archibald. And Tiny. Maxwell up to Ford again, and Chris Ford now has hit 2 big baskets, a 1-point game. 68-67. Look at the bench. 11 points for Chris Ford. That's a togetherness that you've been talking about, Bill Russell, this Boston team has.
Those guys on the bench have got to pull for these guys all the time in a game. That's one of the things about team play.
Level with the bounce pass. Malone can't handle it, but he got a jump ball anyway. Hustling, he ties up Tiny Archibald. Substitution, Calvin Murphy getting ready to check in for the Houston Rockets.
Looked like Level might have been out of bounds, and that's what happened on the play. Tiny Archibald's pointing to Jack Madden, the official. Moses loses the pass. Now watch the battle for the ball. Parrish comes to save it, knocks it to Archibald. Now right there, see, he's out of bounds when he's battling for the basketball, and Jack Madden was watching the ball and never saw that.
And now we're going to have a timeout called by the Houston Rockets. They still have 5 left. Boston, on the other hand, has only 3.
Here we see some of the battling underneath the boards. Look at Maxwell sneak inside of Malone this time. Gave him a little bit of his own medicine to get the rebound.
Welcome back to the NBA's greatest games.
The preceding announcement was furnished by the National Basketball Association. This crowd really charged up as the Celtics have outscored Houston 12-4. Hey, that's quite a rendering by that artist of Larry Bird, and Larry Bird comes up with a basketball, and now a chance to take the lead. The Celtics haven't led the entire game. Off it comes to Allen Level. Calvin Murphy is checked in. He'll be in the backcourt with Level. Moses Malone, Billy Paulson, Robert Reed.
That time Tyner should have pitched the ball out to the side. He had a wide open man on the right side. He tried to force a shot over the big man and had to take a tough shot and never did get in.
Allen Level. There's Bird reaching in on Malone. Malone again shooting from some distance outside. Again, Boston with a chance to take the lead.
And they pick up the pace decidedly in the last 5 minutes. And that has been in Boston's favor.
Only 2 fouls have been called this entire period, both of them on Boston with 3:49 to go in this period. Calvin Murphy almost loses it.
Boston really hurting themselves with their carelessness with the basketball. And again, as you pointed out, if it weren't for those turnovers, they very well would have the lead right now.
That's 16 turnovers, Rick. Calvin Murphy. Maxwell off to Ford, 3-on-1. Blocked partially by Robert Reed. Polk commits the foul.
And Maxwell's giving him quite a lift the second half there. He didn't do very much the first half. I don't think he scored, but he is really making a contribution in the third quarter.
There you see the pass goes to Maxwell. Reed holds good position, goes up and bothers Maxwell. He shoots it on the way down. The ball fortunately bounces right back to him, gives a pump fake to Pauls. Pauls right there, catches him on the arm as Maxwell went up for the second opportunity.
That's the second foul on Billy Pauls. The first team foul against this Houston team.
And the Boston Celtics are getting inside. They've got 5 inside opportunities. Baskets already inside 12 feet to only 3 for Houston. In the second quarter, it was 10-6 inside for Houston over Boston. And so when you get that inside game established, generally speaking, that team will control the game.
Now a chance to give Boston the lead for the first time with 3 minutes and 24 seconds left in this third period. Boston with a 69-68 lead. They trail by 14 in the first period.
Critical right now for Houston, I think, Bill, to maintain their poise and try to come back and thwart this Boston rally.
Calvin Murphy trying to shake Chris Ford. Robert Reed, 8 seconds on the shot clock. They're not getting that ball inside. Reed, and we have a foul. They're over the back of Moses Malone. Malone had the inside position. Coming away, the foul will be Parrish, and that is 4 on Robert.
There you'll see Parrish. He has Malone. He's trying to keep him underneath the basket. He releases, goes up for the ball. Moses gave a good acting job because Robert really didn't push him. But watch him play right there. Keep the good position. Try to keep him underneath. He battles against him. He goes straight up. Moses, when he jumps forward. Looked like he was pushed when he really wasn't. And so Moses drew a foul against Parrish that wasn't there.
Parrish comes out. Rick Roby has replaced him at center. Calvin Murphy, look how quick he is. Tough shot. Calvin Murphy gives the lead back to Houston, 70-69. Cedric Maxwell. Malone trying to stay with him. Out to Larry Bird. Larry Bird.
And that was a great, an outstanding play back to Cedric Maxwell because he drew the defense. You know they have to double team when you go down the middle. And Larry Bird had one of his favorite shots.
And Robert Reed got caught halfway in between. He never did go to Maxwell, but yet he left Bird just enough so the pass could be there.
Bird with 10 points. Henderson alone. Oh, Roby made sure he didn't go up. And we have some angry people, in particular Moses Malone. Roby almost gave him a bear hug on that play.
Well, Roby didn't try to hurt Moses. He was holding him so he wouldn't fall down. He was just making darn sure that he didn't dunk the ball.
He didn't get a three-point play.
Exactly. Moses just a little upset by the way the foul was called. He didn't want to talk to Fitch about it either. He didn't want to hear about it. Here you'll see Moses battling with Roby inside. Now you see how he sneaks in there to get close to that basket. There's Roby, got him hooked already. Moses knocks him off. Now he goes up, gets the rebound. Roby now gets up there. He knows he's dead, so now he reaches over him. Now see, he just holds on to him. He's just holding him. He doesn't want him to fall down. It was a hard foul. It was a hard foul, but he wasn't trying to intentionally hurt Moses on the play.
Well, I tell you one thing, next time he gets there and shoot around the bucket, he'll know somebody's there.
And Moses always knows somebody there. The people hang on him like wallpaper when it's got the glue on it.
Rick Rick Roby committing a personal foul, his second. Notice he uses a tooth guard, a mouth protector.
Yes, he uses that because he gets hit a lot.
Yep.
And that way you don't lose your teeth.
Now, Houston should be very aggressive this time down the floor with only one team foul. They can afford to go all out, go for a steal, pick up the foul. They only have one. Once it gets under 2 minutes, then they will only have one more left after that before the penalty. So they should go for a steal and really double team and gamble here.
On the other hand, Boston has 4 team fouls. Maxwell off to Larry Bird, 10 seconds on the shot clock. Look at Fultz and Rick Roby. And Roby gets the better of that.
Now, right there in that move when he went baseline, he should have grabbed him before he went to shoot. They had that foul to use. If they were really thinking, they could have used that foul right then perfectly, but they let it slip by.
73-72. Calvin Murphy picked out. That was Fultz, got a hand on it, and Houston has a new life. 1 minute, 44 seconds left in this third period. Murphy out to Reed. Robert Reed gets one to roll in, and Reed is having an outstanding night. 23 points. 74-73. The Rockets by 1. Houston seemingly getting their sea legs back after some shaky moments. Archibald, remarkable play.
Foul called by Henderson outside, however, with the knee. Daryl Garrison gave the call, so there'll be no basket on that play. And it's now a situation where Houston will be in the penalty next time they commit a foul.
And that's 4 fouls now on Henderson as Bill Willoughby has checked in for Billy Fultz. 4 fouls on Henderson, 4 on Robert Parrish, who's on the bench. Larry Bird. Reed jumps out on him. Bird almost travels. Reed comes up to Henderson. That was just fine defense by Robert Reed.
Outstanding play by Robert.
And good hustle. That's because you fell on the floor.
76-73. The Houston Rockets
are not folding.
That's right, and the first team since 58-59 with a sub-regular season record to be into the playoffs. And Roby is fouled by Bill Willoughby.
We'll see that play that Reed made just a moment ago. Tiny with the ball. He gets it to Bird. Bird gives him a fake, goes by him, slips and falls. He makes the pass. Henderson's able to knock it off of Archibald's foot. Reed dives on the floor, makes a fine lead pass to Henderson, who takes it down to lay it in the basket.
Boy, they got into the penalty in a hurry. It just seemed like a moment ago you mentioned they had only 1 foul.
Well, that's because once you get to that 2-minute situation, you're only allowed 1 foul in the 2-minute period before you go into the penalty, regardless of how many you've had. So they didn't take advantage of that situation, as we pointed out.
Kevin McHale checks in. Larry Bird will lead. You can see Roby really suffering. Now, he's also had a tough time from the free throw line. During the regular season, he shot only 57%. But he played his best basketball down the stretch when they needed him in the regular series. Should say the regular season and then also in the playoffs.
What he does on his shot, if you'll notice on this next one, he'll pull away. He shoots the ball. He doesn't go and follow through smoothly. He shoots, and when he gets near the end of his follow through, he yanks his hand back and never really completes the shot.
Bill Willoughby comes out of there with it. Houston with a 2-point lead, 76-74. You see the time left in the third period. As Bill Russell said, Houston is not folding in this game. Not leaving. Up to Calvin Murphy. That's that little running shot of his. This is something to see. Calvin Murphy makes it 78-74. Murphy with 10 points in the game. Here's Henderson, who had 11 in that first half. Really done an excellent job. Chris Ford shakes Murphy. Boy, Chris Ford has played well in this game. Chris Ford with 13.
They're going to go down for the last shot.
A 2-point lead for the Houston Rockets. They led at halftime, 57-51. You see the time, 4, 3. Murphy again, and he gets the roll. Wait a minute.
That basket is good, and a foul is on Roby for screening Malone off the board. He just backed him right out on the play, so the basket will be good, and Malone's going to get 2 free throws, so a big 4-point possibility for the Rockets here at the end of this quarter. Again, that'll give some life to the Rockets. Here's Murphy, makes a good fake to Ford, gets Ford to commit, goes inside of him for the little sweeping, for the little jump-in shot. It goes in the basket. You saw Roby, 53, down underneath, backing against Malone, backed him right out of the play, and that's where the foul was called.
Penalty in, free throw coming. It looks to me like they could call that about every play, the way they shove in there.
Against Moses, that's true. They call a foul every time down the court on one or the other.
81-76, last play of the third period. Reed with it. the Houston Rockets, who found themselves trailing for the first time in this game, now have an 81-76 lead. This CBS Sports Special will continue after this word from your local station. Houston will have the ball as we start this fourth period of play.
This guy knows how to enjoy a game.
Well, I guess he's too young to be going to school tomorrow, so he can stay up late. The Houston Rockets, who trail in the third period, then battle back the push by the Boston Celtics and enjoy this lead that you see, 81-76.
And they held the Celtics off, which is normally Celtics' best quarter, the third quarter in the playoffs has been.
Well, they've been a great fourth quarter team, too, coming from behind, and they're going to have to do it again. Robert Reed and Maxwell has committed the foul.
You know, an interesting thing is that the Celtics, because of their turnovers and how they hurt them so much, is that if the Rockets take a shot right here, they will have taken the first shot in each of the beginning of each period, which means the Celtics turned the ball over and did something improperly the two times that they had the ball to start their period.
That was the second foul on Maxwell. Now, Murphy has really picked this club up.
Well, that's what they've had. They've had guys that in the first quarter had Paulson, Reed, and Murphy picked them up a little in the this whole third quarter and the second quarter.
And Bill, we've seen him do that the entire series. Mainly Malone, but it's been the others that have come along, like Reed here tonight with 23. Larry Bird, boy, what a tough move.
And that was a super shot.
That was a great shot. He went baseline, and he had nothing to do but shoot it with the left hand. And again, one of the best players in the league using the left hand from 5 feet and in close to the basket. Super move.
Bird with 12. Archibald has 12. The high point man for Boston is Ford with a total of 13. Murphy again. He's fouled. Oh, wait a minute. They're going to call a charge on Calvin.
That's that shot he uses when he goes in the air and he moves about 5 feet forward.
Well, this time we'll see if we can catch his left arm when he gets ML Carr out of position a little bit. Now he goes in. He throws the left arm out to keep him away to get the shot off, and official had a perfect view of it, made the call.
That's 4 fouls on Calvin Murphy. Both he and Henderson have 4. 4 for Robert Parrish. Rebound Moses Malone. Houston doesn't look for the break. They're going to bring it down very methodically. Look at this, the scoring.
Well, every quarter the Rockets have gone down. And if that's any indication the Celtics have a good quarter, they've got a chance to get back.
Calvin in a lot of difficulty. And he comes out of Bill Willoughby has it. 3 seconds on the shot clock. And Reed had to kick one up from a long ways out.
That was a three-point try.
83-78, 10-21 left in this game. Remember, Houston has won the first game in every one of the series that they played in this year. Also haven't lost 2 in a row this year.
One of the reasons they're leading, they've gotten 48 points on baskets inside of 12 feet.
Larry Bird, ML Carr, good ball movement. Henderson in trouble. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Carr, Kevin McHale. There's one of the big cheerleaders on this team, Chris Ford. He really encourages his teammates all the time when he's off the floor. 83-80, a 3-point lead again for Houston. Henderson has really played well. He's picking up Dunleavy. There's Murphy again. He wants the basketball. Maxwell with a rebound. ML Carr. McHale again, and again. McHale just won't be denied. Here's Maxwell.
Now that's what you call offensive rebounding. When a guy can jump up and keep that ball alive until something happens good for his team. Now what he did was just keep the ball alive. He didn't gather himself. Now you watch how he bounces up and down. He doesn't gather himself to jump. Now the first time he jumps, right back up, right back up, right back up. That's what you have to do when you're going to get rebounding.
You forgot there was another right back up, Bill.
The Houston Rockets now lead by 1, 83-82, 9:22 left in the game.
And they have another crucial point here, Bill, to see if they can withstand this rally by the Celtics. They did it late in the third period and did it very well, and now they're faced with that same situation.
Remember one thing, Boston has not lost a game this year when they've held their opponent under 100 points. And that could be happening here tonight. Dunleavy off to Moses Malone. Malone with 13 points. Bird tries to follow, and he comes out of there. What a job by Larry Bird. Bird off to ML Carr. Maxwell. Kevin McHale. Willoughby gets it out of there. A Houston has really been battling on those offensive boards. You're smiling, Bill.
I love it.
83-82, you see the foul difficulty. 3 men with 4 fouls. Dunleavy into Bill Willoughby, and Houston up by 3. 85-82. That's the first 2 points in the game for Willoughby. Henderson off to McHale. McHale, the rookie out of Minnesota, on the all-rookie team, the 3rd pick in the first round. They had to do all over again. They'd pick it the same way. Here is Maxwell against Willoughby. McHale again, and this time McHale is guilty of a foul.
Well, those are the kind of fouls that coaches like to see their players make. The aggressiveness on the offensive boards. If they're going to commit when they don't mind it there. There's Maxwell gets Willoughby completely turned around, and he hasn't made that jump hook in this whole game. There comes McHale right over the back of Moses Malone, who you finally see in the picture got knocked out of the way.
Second foul on McHale, second team foul on the Boston Celtics. Thus far, Houston has not committed a foul in this period. Robert Reed, Maxwell on him. Reed moving in, fall away, beauty. Robert Reed, the high point man in this game with 25. 87-82. Larry Bird out to ML Carr. Carr has hit some big shots in that Philadelphia series. Carr now with 7. Here's Robert Parrish, who will come back in. He's been out with 4 personal fouls. But again, Houston had it cut to 1, and they bumped it back up. Now it's back to 3. Here's Moses Malone. McHale against him. Good defense. Willoughby comes out with a rebound. Off-balance shot. Malone will try to go up. He is intimidated and has it blocked, and it'll go to Boston.
Moses that time did a great job getting the ball back, but he tried to take a very difficult shot. Looks like it slipped off his hand, hit the side of the basket, and went out of bounds, but he had a heck of a job on that rebound. Willoughby also, you see Bird doesn't box out. Willoughby comes, now he makes contact. Bird mistimed his jump just enough for Willoughby to go up and take the ball away from him.
Boy, as Moses Malone had a tough time. Wait a minute.
Willoughby inside, pushing off as Maxwell came across to get the position down deep. They were trying to post him up, and Billy Paul's will come in for Moses Malone right now.
I just started to say, what a difficult job it's been for Moses Malone. He's had to work so hard.
He's up to it. He's up to it.
He has 13 points. First half, he had 10 rebounds. ML Carr. Boston would like to cut this to a 1-point game. 7 minutes left. Larry Bird follows his own shot. Oh, what a play!
Now Larry, as soon as he shot that ball, knew he missed it. He knew he missed it right. He took off right for the basket again, not being boxed off the boards. Made an incredible recovery and shot it in with his left hand. Just a great, great shot.
You won't see much better moves than that anywhere.
Incredible basketball. Billy Paultz. Boston now with a chance to take the lead. Maxwell on the move. Perry, and the Celtics have the lead by 1. As Boston now has outscored Houston 12-4.
Watch Bird on this shot. He goes off the screen by Parrish. He shoots the ball. Reed jumps now. Doesn't box him off. Now he takes off. He sees the ball coming to the right. Look at this great play. Just flips it up with the left hand. Super.
Beautiful. Back to the live action. 5 seconds on the shot clock. 3. Reed with 2, and Reed hits another big shot. 27 points for Robert Reed, and it's a 1-point lead for Houston. Here's Carr on the move. Rebound, Maxwell. He's hammered, but it's blocked. This crowd not agreeing with the call. This is playoff basketball. Calvin Murphy, and wait a minute, we have a timeout called by Houston. We're at the other end of the floor. The Rockets stop the action with 5:47 left in the game.
Now here's a camera angle from the floor on Bird's play. You see the shot. Now see Reed committed, no screen out. Now watch Bird come into your picture. Just follow the ball beautifully. Look at the great body control. So softly drops it back in.
This CBS Sports Special will continue after this word from your local station.
Welcome back to the NBA's greatest games.
Bill Russell and Rick Barry, one scribe here said this might be the biggest mismatch in 22 years. Hey, somebody forgot to tell Houston.
No, you find that the teams that get into the playoffs, when they get there, they have beaten some good teams, and they're good ball clubs. Because I think the reason someone would say that is that Boston has beaten Houston 13 straight times. But that has nothing to do with it now. This is a playoff game, and both teams are starting square one. Because you didn't get to this point playing bad basketball.
Well, Rick, Houston has just played remarkably well.
Well, Gary, I said they're playing their best basketball. They have confidence, the biggest thing in the world going for them. And again, the Celtics made a run back at them. They've kept their composure. They've got it back after losing the lead again. They still have the lead with the ball. Now they just throw it away by Willoughby, so let's see if they can hold on.
Bird with the steal, out to M.L. Carr. Archibald, broken up. Willoughby comes back with it at the other end.
Now, that was a pass to Robert Parrish. He might have thrown it up by the hoop for him instead of trying to bounce pass.
19 turnovers against the Celtics, 9 for the Houston Rockets, 89-88.
That's one thing about the Houston teams in all this playoffs. They've made an awful lot of turnovers. They made the other teams make an awful lot of turnovers.
Boy, Calvin Murphy's come on now with 16 points in this game.
And Moses was able to get some rest without it really hurting the Rockets. In fact, they have a 3-point lead, and Moses was on the bench. Now he's getting ready to come in.
Rebound, Robert Parrish. Robert Parrish cuts it back to a 1-point game. 91-90. There is Moses Malone. Malone with 13 points. Look at that. 15 rebounds. Bird with 14 and 17 in his own column. Here's Mike Dunleavy. Rebound, Bird, he's all over the place. And a foul on Calvin Murphy. The basket will not count. The foul before the shot of M.L. Carr.
I don't understand how that's not a shooting foul.
Well, here's the foul coming up right there. Daryl Garrison, they called the foul before Carr ever got the basketball, and that will be the interpretation, as Carr made a great recovery to still keep his balance and take it in and lay it in. So no basket. Fitch doesn't like it.
Yeah, Fitch said the same thing. That's a continuation play.
Well, the pass was definitely in the air, and I would have to tend to agree with you there, but Daryl Garrison said no, and I think that I'll have to say that his ruling will go over yours, Bill.
Not only that, they'll do what he says.
Calvin Murphy with that foul now has 5. Larry Bird, and the Boston Celtics take the lead. 92-91. Larry Bird now was 16, and he always gets those points down the stretch. Tom Henderson is in. There's Chris Ford yelling some encouragement in. Henderson has been out with a foul difficulty of 4. Off to Billy Paultz. 9 seconds on the shot clock. Look at the defense now by Boston. They call it the Hall of Fame defense. Calvin Murphy. They're pushing and shoving inside. Coming out of there with it is Henderson. Murphy again. Rebound Reed, and they have a fresh 24.
This is a tough Houston ball club because they're working it hard and they know what they're doing too.
And I'll tell you one thing, regardless of whether they win or lose this game, Boston is going to have a tough time beating this Houston Rocket team. They have the confidence going for them. They know they can play with them now.
There's Murphy again. He's missed 3 in a row. Maxwell over the back of Billy Paultz.
Yeah, if there's ever any doubt, Bill, it's been dispersed with after this ball game that Houston can play with the Celtics. Here we'll see the replay from behind the backboard. There's the long rebound. Here comes Cedric Maxwell over the back and knocks Billy Paultz out of our picture.
And so Maxwell with his second, third team foul now on Boston. A little housekeeping in the lane area. Well, I think there's going to be a lot of people saying, hey, maybe this Houston team deserves to be here. Del Harris has said it all along. They just defeated the world champions to get here. Here is Calvin Murphy into Billy Paultz. M.L. Carr reached in, off to Maxwell, 2-on-1, Reed back. Carr scores. Reed thought he had a foul as Maxwell collided with him.
Maxwell and Reed had a heck of a collision. There was definitely a foul there on someone, but the official must not have felt that it was a foul on Maxwell because he let the play continue because he knew that the Celtics had a layup, and that's really the way you should do it.
Biggest lead of the game for the Celtics. A 3-point lead, 94-91. 6 seconds on the shot clock. Reed will try another one.
Not a good shot.
Third again. Maxwell by himself.
And what happened on that play is that Maxwell took off and Reed took that bad shot. The Houston guards made a mistake. The weak side guard should have been noticing the floor balance and taken off to get back on Maxwell. They never did it. Boston's run off 8 points. They now have a 5-point lead over the Rockets, and they seem to be in control. Now here's one of the big plays of this game right here. A for Boston. Now watch ML Carr sneak back in as Paultz puts it on the floor. That's the time to attack it. Knocks loose. Bird down on the floor. Tips it to Maxwell. Maxwell takes off. Now watch Reed will get in the way. It actually is a block. See, Reed is moving. It's a block. The official doesn't call it because he's got a man wide open. ML Carr, he's got it, lays it in the basket. The reason a good official wouldn't make that call, because to make it, you would penalize Boston in that situation when they had an easy 2 points to achieve after a good play.
We've had 9 lead changes in the second half, but right now Boston enjoying their biggest lead of the game. 5 points, 96-91, 2:45 left in this fourth period. Billy Paultz, now they collapse on him. They double team him. Henderson, and Henderson hit a big basket. Houston needed that one. Henderson with 9.
He's an outstanding player, especially when the pressure's on, because he knows what he's doing out there. He always knows where he is on the floor, and he's not afraid to shoot the ball.
Billy Paultz reaching over Parrish. Bird on a move. Rebound Henderson. Murphy, but it's going to be off of Calvin Murphy. Good effort by Calvin. Calvin playing with 5 personal fouls. Tiny Archibald will come in. Henderson will check out. Henderson has given Bill Fitch some very valuable playing time in this game number 1. And game 2 will be Thursday night. Be sure to check the time in your area of this championship final, a best-of-7 series. Archibald into Parrish. Billy Paultz staying tough with Parrish to ML Carr. 2 minutes, 11 seconds left in this game. A 3-point lead for the Celtics. Tiny double pump. And Parrish just went over Malone that time for the rebound. You won't do that very often. Inside 2 minutes. 15 seconds on the shot clock.
And Robert Reed is trying to keep Larry Bird from getting the ball, but
Bird has it. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Parrish on the move. Rebound. Billy Paultz has it, and they have a chance now to cut it to 1. 96-93.
Good defense by the Rockets. They're showing a lot of poise out here, playing a good ball game.
You see the time remaining. That's Henderson. That's goaltending. Henderson's hit 2 baskets now, and Bill Russell said he's a pressure player. May have hurt his back a little bit.
just a little.
1-point game. There he is. He's won it all before, and he'd like to do it with a different team. 96-95, and now Boston has called a timeout. The
I don't
Celtics
think
will
they
have
wanted
2
to
left.
do that because there was a mix-up on the substitution. They were trying to get someone else in there, and Larry Bird saw that there was some confusion there, so rather than go down with confusion, call timeout.
Now don't be flying out on something unless you can get it. All right?
Del Harris.
All 5 of them are rebounders. They may move this ball. If they move it up the front court, let's get a 5. I mean an aggressive 5. Don't let the big two.
Right now. Right now. We win the game right now.
All right, let's get
He has 1 timeout plus a 22nd timeout left. Boston has 2 regular timeouts and a 22nd. You look at Chris Ford. 1:29 left in this game.
He was telling this guys the right thing. When you come down at this time of the game, you cannot let the offense get offensive boards. Your whole team, there's no place to go. So go in there and get the ball.
They're going to pressure him a little bit in the backcourt. Tom Henderson has scored the last 4 points for the Houston Rockets to cut it to 1. He has picked up Tiny Archibald out front. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Robert Parrish back out to Tiny. Tiny penetrating. In trouble. And it's out to Ford, and they have another 24 seconds.
What a big break for Boston. Houston had the ball in their hands. They couldn't hold on to it. Now they can run it down. If they score right now, it'll really put the heat on the Rockets because the time will be in Boston's favor.
You can hear Del Harris.
Stay tough. Stay tough.
Here's Parrish on Billy Paultz. And coming down with it was Malone. But Ford comes out with it again. 2 fine plays by Chris Ford.
Now they really have the time in their favor with 39 seconds to go and counting down, 16 on the clock. They can get it down inside of 24 seconds if they score, and they really can have the game in their grasp.
Larry Bird trying to shake Willoughby. 7 seconds on the shot clock. Parrish with 5. Larry Bird with a rebound. Oh, is it physical? Bird again.
That was the key play of the game right there. If you're going to have a key play right there, they got too many times. They let Boston get the offensive boards. That's 3 times, and they took a whole minute.
Exactly, and they actually only got Bird, if you want to count his little short one, they got 4 opportunities to make it. You cannot give a team that many chances. They had plenty of time in their favor, but they just let it get whittled away by letting the offensive boards, exactly what Del Harris said, don't let them get any offensive rebounds, and they got 4 of them.
Well, Malone just couldn't hang on to that one. Let's listen now to Del Harris.
On the board. All right, let's get us the three-pointer here.
They're going to have to go for a three-pointer. Yeah.
Set the back pick on Murph and step out. All right, Moses is deep. Down here, Mo. All right, and Reed. Now here's what I want. I want Dunes set the back pick and Sharp to the ball, Dunes. If you're wide open, Dunes for the 3, take it. Now, Rudy, step in for the return. Murph, you're down in, and Sharp off of Malone. Got it? Now, wait a minute. I want Malone here and Reed under. Now, look at this. If we get a clean 3, I want it. But as we go here, Reed, as Murphy comes off you, you curl also, and we'll either get a wide open 3 or a quick 2. A quick 2.
Where are my guys that are going to get it in? I got Dunleavy.
You got Dunleavy.
I need a release in the middle.
Mo, come to the ball.
All right, now Houston only has a 20-second timeout left. This year in the playoffs, they're 5 for 21 on three-point plays.
Well, they have the play set up. Rudy coming into the game for the first time. Tomjanovich will throw the inbounds pass, as you saw. He'll try to get it to Mike Dunleavy, who will set a back pick on Murphy. And if Mike gets open, Mike is 3 for 8 in the playoffs, and he's capable of putting it in the basket. And Rudy will step in bounds if Mike gets covered, and he'll be the next man to look to shoot the ball. That's a tough assignment, not having played all this time to come in and put one in, but Rudy's capable.
And he's directly in front of us. Murphy this year is 2 of 6 on three-pointers. Here's Dunleavy. They're going to go for the 2, but wait a minute. Jack Madden. Foul outside.
Now that doesn't hurt the Celtics in this situation because it's only their 4th team foul. They had a foul to use, so they used up some time. It's down to 14 now. But now the Rockets need to go ahead and try and run the same play. If he takes his 20-second timeout, yes, he's indicating he wants it, Del Harris. They will have no more left at all. And in this situation, it may have been better just to go ahead and say run the same play from the other side of the floor and save that 20. Now, if they score a quick 2 points here, Bill, they can still have a chance to go for a steal. They have a foul also to use. Go for the steal and then see what happens.
But he was looking that way, but
And they've got to go for
All right, now let's look at it real quick. Everybody, hey, we only got 20 seconds. Now listen up. We're over here on this side. All right, Rudy, you throw it in again. And when you throw it in, you step in. Everybody look for Rudy. He might be open. You guys reverse jobs this time. Murph set the back pick and step hard to the ball. Dunleavy, go here. Reed, you're under Malone. You're hard to the ball for the release. Now,
got to do a better job than that job to get the ball.
Now, get open, try to get your 3 if it's wide open. Otherwise, we'll take the hard 2. Then you got to match up on a quick hard 11 deny on defense. If we don't steal it, then we've got a foul. You understand?
I have no.
Bill Fitch's team this year is 28-0 on games where he's held the opponent to fewer than 100 points. And right now, 95 points for Houston.
Last time Boston defended the play well. They did not allow him to get the ball to Dunleavy right open. And they're going to try to run the same play, except that you heard him. Murphy's going to be the man coming out instead of Dunleavy.
Tomjanovich in for the first time. He again will inbounds the ball. In to Moses Malone. Out to Rudy. Tomjanovich, three-pointer on the way. Boy, that was close. Robert Reed. Moses Malone fouling. You see the time left in the Boston Celtics. We have a foul on Dunleavy. That shot will not count if it had gone in, as he was fouled further up the floor. And the Boston Celtics are now in the process of winning their 14th in a row over Houston. But what a battle they have had tonight with this Rockets team.
They're still going to have a tiger by the tail because Houston knows, and they probably will feel that they could have won this basketball game as well they could have if they had not let the Celtics get all those offensive rebounds. No penalty situation. There's the end of the game.
The Boston Boston Celtics have won it 98-95. The Miller Highlight Most Valuable Player Award will go to Larry Bird. Bird coming up with 18 points, 21 rebounds in this game. So the Miller $1,000 donation will be made to the Special Olympics on behalf of Larry Bird. Let me ask you guys very quickly, what's in store for Game 2?
I think that'll be another tough one. But that was a tougher game on Houston than it appeared, I think.
In what way? Physically, mentally?
Well, they played a real good basketball game tonight. I thought they played real well. They got a lot of good performances out of a lot of different guys, and they thought they had control of the game, and it still slipped away from them. Now, how they react the next couple of days and get ready for the next game has become even more important for Houston.
And the next game will be carried right here on CBS. Be sure to check the time in your area. Our producer, Robert Stenner. Our director, Sandy Grossman. Our associate producer, Rick Sharp. Associate directors, Mike Burks, Rich Nelson, Walter Pyle, our field technical manager, Anthony Filippi, the technical supervisor, Sandy Bell, Bob Siderman. These gentlemen will also be with us for Game 2. Larry Bird, our MVP, as the Celtics take a 1-0 lead in this best-of-7 World Championship final with a score